Hello, everybody. Welcome back to the channel. Let's talk student loans. So, over the past week, the Trump administration has begun efforts to collect back student loans. And this is a topic that's affecting millions of people. A lot of people are not happy. A lot of people are choosing not to pay it back. And a lot of people are just choosing to just retaliate and not do anything. So we have a bunch of videos that we're going to react to. Make sure to like, comment, and subscribe. Follow the journey. And in this channel, we talk financial literacy, debt, and staying away from debt. So do me a favor and support the channel. Let's get into it.
If you haven't been paying your student loans, some of your paychecks could soon be going to the government. The Department of Education said that it's going to be collecting payments for student loans that are in default starting on May 5th, and that includes by garnishing wages. When it comes to debt, you're considered delinquent as soon as you miss a payment, the very same day. And when you go a certain amount of time missing those payments, that's when you go into default. For student loans, it's about 270 days, and that's when you'll end up in this situation. The department said that these collections will be done through the Treasury's offset program, and that program seeks to claw back delinquent debts by withholding federal salaries, tax refunds, and Social Security
Social
benefits.
Security.
The Education Department said that more than 5 million people are currently in default, and more than 4 million more could be in the same boat in a few more months. Those who are in default will get emails sent to them in the next 2 weeks telling them what next steps they need to take, and wage garnishment notices will go out later this summer. This is the first time since March 2020 that federal student loans have been sent to collections, and the Education Department said that there will not be any mass student loan forgiveness. Read more about the collection plans and what you need to do if you're impacted.
So I wanted to share this video first before we dive into other people's point of view on why they're choosing to crash out and not pay student loans and why Trump's administration is choosing to go at them heavy, right? They're even going after Social Security. Like, nobody's catching a break, no matter what age you are. It's pretty sad. It's a wake up call to a lot of millions of people to really sit down and to understand that they're not playing around. So 2020, I think 2021, 2020, Biden's administration paused student loans collections or student loan, payments, right? For some people, they took advantage of it, and that was a time when there was no interest applied, so they just took all the money they were making, any stimulus checks, and they went heavy at paying back their student loans. There are some people, on the other hand, that did not want to take that same type of initiative. They just were chilling, doing their thing, vibing, enjoying their lifestyle. Now we're going to get into people's point of view on why they're choosing not to pay, right? And I understand where they're coming from, though, right? Some people just don't have the money to pay. Some people lost their jobs. A lot of people are laid off. A lot of people have credit card debts. A lot of people have childcare they're paying for. So there's a lot of emotions that are tied to this, and millions of people are affected. And let's just react to the first video. The first video is a good one on how a lot of people feel.
I'm not paying back my student loans. I do not care. Oh, but what about your credit score? What am I going to do with a good credit score? Buy a house on starvation wages? Buy a car I can't afford to insure? I'm not paying them back. I don't give a shit about my credit score. Oh, they're going to garnish your wages. Most of us are underemployed. If they start taking additional money out of my paycheck, I just won't work. My life will not get worse. I'm not going to have the money anyway, so you can't garnish what isn't there. I grew up in a far right, conservative, hardcore Republican family. And since like kindergarten, I have been conditioned to believe that if I did not go to college, I would not be successful. I was told that if I locked in, got great grades in high school, got into college, focused, and got my degree, that I would have a life similar to the life my parents had, where my dad worked one job for like 35 years, was able to buy a house and go on vacation and support his family. That doesn't exist anymore. There's no jobs out there with pension plans. There's no jobs out there that let people my age just like buy a house. So what was all that work for? Generations of Americans have been told that if they went to college and they did the right thing, took out these loans, that it would be worth it. And most of us are finding out it's not even remotely close to worth it. You're telling me these millionaires and billionaires were able to get these PPE loans forgiven that they took out during the pandemic for millions of dollars, but I have 30 grand in college debt left and I'm refusing to pay it back, and now I'm the problem.
I am not paying back my student loan. The government need to learn financial responsibility. Because how are you lending an 18-year-old that's unemployed £9,000 a year for 3 years? I'm going to stop paying my taxes too, because that's just a stupid investment.
Here's one thing that I would say, that yes, the economy is not what it was during the baby boomers' time, or your grandfather's time, or your mother's time, or your father's time, right? Your father could work one job and pay off the house, take vacations, save for college, right? But in today's age, that's just an imagination. That's just a dream, right? But you as an adult, right? Because we're not going to sit here and say an 18-year-old is not an adult. An 18-year-old is an adult. If you can make a TikTok page and complain, you can get a second job and pay off this debt. It's going to take time. It's going to take sacrifice, right? But everything you said is true, right? Stagnant wages, right? People can't afford anything, inflation, groceries, right? But comparison is also a thief of joy. You can't compare your time to your parents' time. They had their own sets of struggle. They had their own sets of, difficulties that they had to get through, right? And what your parents didn't have was the the choice of making money is much relatively easier now than they had in their time, right? They had to do everything old school, get a job, stay at a job, get a pension, stay there for 40, 50 years until they retired. You can get a second job. You can make money off your TikTok, right? If you monetize it correctly. So it's also easy for you as well to make money as well. So it just stems from not being accountable. It stems from not choosing to just, do what's right. You took out the debt. An 18-year-old that requires a signature is old enough to understand the consequences that comes from you not being able to pay or not pay. You had a choice. You made the choice to use $9,000, and on top of that, you took $9,000 a year. And I'm gonna be frank with you. A lot of people are choosing that student loans and funding their lifestyle. There's so many videos on TikTok. So many videos on TikTok, right? And then some people say, "Well, I don't make enough money." Some people are traveling. Some people are buying things they can't afford. Some people are putting it on credit cards. So if we're speaking, the baby boomers that have their difficulties, they had their, you know, ways of dealing with certain things, and you have your ways of dealing with certain things. You can make way more money easier now. It's way easier to make money with all these AIs. You can definitely make money that the baby boomers didn't have. So it kind of offsets and balances the situation. But we're gonna watch two more, and then we're gonna see what other people are choosing to do or how they're reacting with this.
Not me entering my final stage of full-blown crash out. I'm literally crashing out. I was so excited for tonight. Oh my god, I'm so worked up. I was gonna get dressed up. I mean, I still am. I'm definitely getting a martini now. Last week, I fucking hate student loans. Last month, I set up auto pay because I don't want to forget. I don't like being late. You could never get on the phone with these stupid student loan people. And I log on today because I have to get my fucking tax documents. Fuck my life. Life never ends. I'm like, oh my god, it says my payment's late. And I'm like, how does that even make sense? I set up auto pay last month with my card and my bank and all the stupid information. And then I call them today and they're like, it's going to be a 3-hour and 50-minute wait time. And then I'm trying to have dad help me. And I'm like, what did you guys have me set up auto pay for that if my payments are now late? And I'm like, I'm not crashing out over Mohila. You're ugly. I don't have time for this. I'm crying over a fucking stupid student loan.
Complete crash out on the internet. People are choosing to crash out on the internet. I truly feel sorry for this girl, and I truly feel sorry for her situation. But I was reading the comments, and she's a creator, and I think she takes like luxurious vacations, and she goes to Coachella every year, right? And that's what I mean. Like, this is like, if you're gonna find an excuse, that's cool, but to come on the internet and full blown out, like, just ball out instead of trying to find a solution, right? Because when you were choosing to take out the student loans, you understood what came with it. You understood everything that was on that dotted line. and they needed that wet signature. And these student loan providers are destined, right? They're destined for you to not pay it off. I was even watching another video that literally they'll tell you if you call them and you're telling them I want to make a full payment to fully pay off the student loans, they'll tell you don't do that because they make money through the interest and they make money from you not paying this off, right? It just no accountability, no accountability. Like I know how to get myself in trouble, but for me to get out of the trouble, it's kind of like I don't even want to entertain that. Like we're just, oh my god.
Why I'm not paying off my student loans as an MBA grad making $200K a year. I'll pay them off eventually, but here's why I'm not in a rush to do it. Let's say I took out a $100K loan and that I have 10 years to pay it back at a 6% interest rate. Let's also say that I have $100K sitting in my bank right now that I can use to pay back my loans, if only. The simple thing to do would be to take that $100K and pay off my loans, right? Think again. If I take my $100K to pay off the loan, I'm debt free, but I also now have $0. If I invest my $100K, I'll make $160K in 10 years from compounding returns. Over the same time period, I need to pay back $135K on my loan principal and interest. Let's do the math. 160 minus 135 equals $25,000 that I made from not paying off my student loans immediately. Vivian from Your Rich BFF posted a video the other day about how we need to change the narrative on debt, because when rich people have debt, it's called leverage, and we celebrate them. So if you have student loans, you're not in debt, you're just levered.
With that last video, I am now convinced that social media is the reason why people are going crazy. This is the reason why people are getting themselves in trouble, taking advice that literally makes no sense. If you have $100,000, just pay off your $100,000 in student loans. That $100,000 is going to be much more 10 years down the line. Yes, you have invested, but imagine the stress-free life. Imagine the no headaches. Imagine not thinking about bills or having bills scheduled. Imagine the anxiety and the depression that brings in itself. You could have paid it off. And these are the same type of millennials or Gen Z, right, that are on social media that are going to tell you, I want to buy a house. So she said she doesn't want to pay for the 10 years. If she wants to buy a house within that next 10 years, even though she has more spending power to get, right, for a loan purchase for a house, she can't, because student loans is also calculated into your debt income ratio, right? Debt to income ratio. So she's crippling herself by trying to listen to another person's advice. That's why every advice on this on the internet is not good advice. They're not good advice. And then try to compare yourself to the rich is crazy. The rich do not use their income for loans. They use their assets and they keep their money. There's a reason why they don't get taxed, because you can't tax debt. You're not rich. You need to start living a more realistic life. Pay back your debts, right? Enjoy your life. You're young. There's no reason for you to cripple yourself. If you have the money right now sitting in your savings, no matter whose advice you've heard, pay it off. You can only build a more sustainable, a better future when you're debt free. Every income that comes to you goes straight to your pocket. You don't have to pay something that's more expensive later because of interest. Just get it out of the way. You know what I mean? But some people do have a lot of, with the videos that we've reacted to, they do have a lot of concerns, right? That governments can't pay their own debts. We're not the government. We just got to do what we got to do so you can sleep better at night. If you have the money, pay it. If you don't have the money, you get a second job. You don't need to hang out with your friends every day. You don't need to be on TikTok every day, right? You need to put your pride to the side if you truly want successful, financial, free life. You got to get a second job. You have to. I know so many people that have so much time, no kids, no responsibilities, but they're still hanging out every single day with their friends. Your friends don't benefit you nothing. Hanging out with your friends every single minute, it does not make you money. Your friends are just keeping you caged with them. Social media is really frying people's brains. And if you enjoy this channel and you want to support me, please leave a like for the YouTube algorithm. Leave a comment on what you think and then subscribe for the journey, man. Appreciate you guys for tuning in. See you guys on the next one.